For this lesson, we are going to learn how to make a tab for the designer class. I actually have a written PDF tutorial for this. I wrote it so long ago that it's actually in Photoshop Elements 3. Of course, as always, the programs are so similar you can always adapt them to any of the versions. This is the shape of the tab that we're going to be making. I'm going to only make this one shape, but you can get your creative thinking cap on and come up with some other ideas. You may want to do a search of your computer for where your kits that you've purchased are located. Do a search for tab and take a look at the other shapes that other designers have done. Now, let's not steal directly from them. Just use it as inspiration, maybe for different shape ideas, to get your creative juices flowing, and then close it out and go to your program and design on your own. But for this tutorial, we're going to just do this simple tab. For the lesson, you can do whatever you want. You can keep it simple, or you can really get your creative thinking cap on. And so I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and I have Photoshop Elements here with a 12 by 12 300 pixel paper already on it. And as I've suggested with other lessons, I prefer to just open up this 12 by 12 so I can make it just a realistic size for this size paper. There is no right or wrong size. Of course, I discourage them from being too big because they would be unrealistic, or even too small. But there really is no right or wrong size. You just have to kind of get a feel for that. For this, I'm going to turn on the grid. So under the View drop-down menu, click on Grid. I've shown you in other tutorials how I set up this grid. Under Preferences, I think that's Edit, Preferences, Guides and Grids, and I prefer to have mine set up in inches and every 1 inch, and then the subdivisions, I think most often I have them set to only 2. In this case it's 4. I'm going to leave it that way for right now because I think that might be of help. The subdivision are these dotted lines in between, so the thick lines are 1 inch apart. To start, let's just get the well, before they do that, just pick any random color. I have white in mine. I'm going to put a color in my foreground. Grab the rectangular marquee tool and envision on here a good size for your tab. You might want to start out making it a little bit large. In my case, I'm going to go, and I'm just making up this right now as I go along. I'm just going to go a 3-inch block. Now you can use your paint bucket to fill that. I'm in a new layer over here, or you can use Alt backspace will also fill it, and then Control D to deselect. Then you can make this wider if you want. If we wanted to quickly make it wider, we could do that. See, there's no right or wrong to this at all. And so the next thing you're going to do is grab the rectangular or rounded rectangular tool, and using that grid you're going to center this. Now there are other ways of doing this. using the selection tools, to me this is the least stressful way. And so I prefer doing it this way. I'm going to center this. I think I'm going to start here and go to there. That would make an okay tab, just like that. This is where your creativity comes in. I'm going to hit undo. I have no idea what settings I actually used here, and I haven't even played or tested this. I guess I could go read what my settings are. If you want to read what my settings are in here, it certainly does tell. But I decided I didn't like that, and so I'm showing you how you can do this and learn how to do it just by playing. So I'm going to go ahead and if you rub on a lot of these rather than manually entering a figure, you can click right down here. You see when I hover over it, there's an arrow, and so I'm going to click down and just randomly make it a little bit taller. And this time I'm going to move over a block and see what it looks like. And I actually like that a lot better than what I had before. As I said, this is all, your uniqueness is going to come out of this. So do whatever you want. There is no right or wrong answer to the radius on here. You can go really high, really low. No right or wrong answers to the sizes. You do kind of probably want this centered, and that's why we're using the grid. And I'm going to go ahead and click simplify, and then I'm going to turn my grid off. And you can see here now we have a template for a tab shape. I'm going to go ahead and right click here and merge down. You can also find the merge down here in the layer drop down menu. And the selection tools, we could have tried to do this using the add to selection tools, but I think that this way is much easier. So we've created our template. Now comes the fun part. You have to do something with this template. And so I have my Paisley papers here, and I am going to go ahead and pull just this one in. Put that there. I have no idea what I'm getting. Boy, it's got speckles on it. Then just like you would anything else, I can do Control G, and I have merged my paper, and then this would match with my kit, and I have a tab just like that. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this so I have something to play with, turn off this original. So what I'm going to do is right click, merge down. So I have this template here. Some of the fun things you can do to play with it are to get the burn tool and burn the edges. Just however you want to do it, just kind of randomly rub this. You can change the settings up here. I have a 27 exposure mid-tones. You can play around, see what different things you can get if you want to. So you can see right there, I already have a unique tab just simply by quickly playing with them, or I could go back in and use the dodge tool. Make that brush a little bigger. See, I didn't like what I did in certain spots. I could take it back out. That is something simple that you can do. Let me think off the top of my head some more ideas. Let's say you might want create a new layer, and maybe you would want to put a paper in here so that there's a nice place for people to write on it. Maybe let's throw that away. Maybe I'm going to hold down my control key and get a selection of that, and do a new layer, fill it with white. Now you can't see what you're doing, and make it smaller and center it back up. Yeah, that might work. You know what? I don't really like it. And I'm just showing you how you play. This is how you play. This is how you have fun with Photoshop Elements until you get something you like. I don't like that bottom part. I just want that top part. Oops. Let's do that a little bit better. There. I actually, oops. With it being so wide, it looks like my tab now has a handle. I made a purse. So I might want to do some so it doesn't look like that. Add a drop shadow. Hello. Drop shadow. How low can you go? There. Now it doesn't look so much like a handle, but yeah, it still does. So, go in and play with your that didn't work. Ooh, it's got some grungy stuff on it. You might want to go get a brush and put some grungy stuff on it. That would be kind of a cool idea. See, I'm going to come up with ideas just playing. Maybe lower the opacity so it's more like vellum. It still looks like we have a handle. Play. There's no right or wrong answers to this. If I wanted to get this and stretch it out this way, all the way to the edge maybe, and then go, wow, I kind of like that. Now that's pretty cool. I kind of like that one. Okay, that just came to me like, from playing. You have to play. Yeah, and until something strikes you as, yeah, that's cool. I actually kind of like that one. So go back to this one we have here, and I'm going to duplicate it again and play again. Something else that you might want to remember that you can do is there is a My Raid, as we've shown you before, and I don't have them installed, but a myriad of available styles out there. You can go out and find any kind of cool style. Remember, it has to be commercial use friendly, or CU friendly, as we like to call it. But maybe I might want to make this tab into a glass button that has a really high bevel to it. It's not the glow, it's the bevel. There we go. See? There's a cool looking tab. It's not really a style I would always go for, but it is cool. You could do that. Let's clear that style and find another one just to show you. Here's some patterns. I'm not a big fan of any of these patterns that come with Photoshop Elements, but let's say we wanted to make it a wood one, and there's your wood tab. And let's say right click, simplify it, and go over here and get that burn tool and make it darker on the edges and whatnot, just like we did before. Make the brush a lot larger so I could do this quicker. There you go. See, there you go, another tab. Not exactly one I like, but get yourself a better style than that. Ooh, satin overlay. Now see, that ain't too bad. I combined two styles to get that. That's not too bad. Okay. Yeah. No. Anyway, let's go chrome. Ah, there we go. But you know, these chrome styles, as I've shown you before, have drop shadows on them. Take off that drop shadow. There's a nice tab. Something else you might want to remember that you can do is patterns. Or textures, use your texturizer. It won't work if you're not on a active layer. Where's your texturizer? Here's the texturizer. You've learned about that. You could also apply a pattern to it. Let's find, here's a ivy pattern. Let's see, grass. Okay, just for the heck of it. Let's click OK first of all, and then let's Control G to clip it just to that. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty cool? So now I have some of the metal styles showing through somehow, and some of the grass. If I wanted to, I could scale it. There's the scale I was looking for earlier. No, because that looks too much like grass. That looks like a piney tree. There we go. There's one for, I don't know. It's not that great of a thing, but I'm showing you how you can play until something goes, that's cool, I really like it. And then you go with it. And go out there, have fun playing.